internet. Today I'm going to be doing the monthly recommendations topic for the month of December. If you don't know what monthly recommendations is, it's a Goodreads group that was started by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla Rain, and each month there is a different topic and you can make a video about it or a blog post or whatever your chosen medium is. This month it is our favorite new to me authors, so to kind of help wrap up the end of the year, the authors that you read for the first time this year that you really liked. I read a lot of authors this year that I already loved, but I did also read a lot of really amazing new authors. Some of them are new in general, their debut novels came out this year, but a lot of them were also just new to me personally, so I'm gonna kind of go through some of those today. So we're gonna start with the non-debut authors. The first one I have is Ransom Riggs, who wrote the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children trilogy. I don't think I said peculiar right. Peculiar Children. And I read this series for the first time this year. It's a very popular series here on BookTube and just in the world in general. And for a good reason. It was a really unique story. I've never read anything like it before. It made me definitely want to check out anything else that Ransom Riggs writes in the future. And I love how he incorporated the use of photographs into the story. That really added to it. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he comes out with next for sure. Another new to me author this year was Nina Lacour. She has written several books. The one that I have read was Everything Leads to You, and that's one of my favorite contemporary books that I read this year. It was just such a really good LGBTQ plus contemporary story, and I want to read more of her books. I know that there are some out there, and I'm really looking forward to picking those up in the future. Another new to me author this year was Shauna Maguire, who has written, I think, several things, but her most popular ones, at least as of late, is the Wayward Children series. The first one is Every Hearted Doorway. The second one is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which I have not read yet, but it's on my TBR shelf. And then the third book in this series, Beneath the Sugar Sky, comes out in January, I believe. But I really like this series. I think she's written other things as well that have been published, but I really like her writing style and just the unique ideas that she brings to the table. Another new to me author this year was C.J. Redwine. She's actually a local author. She lives here in Nashville, and she, at least right now, has been publishing retellings. I'm not sure if she's written anything before The Shadow Queen or not, but this is the first book in the Ravenspire series, which is a series of companion retellings, and this was a retelling of Snow White. It was really cool. I have the second book in the series, The Wish Granter, on my TBR shelf, and it's a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. I'm pretty pumped to get to it, but I really liked her writing style, and I really thought this was very different from a lot of the other retellings that I've read, so I'm really looking forward to reading more by her. And also, she's just a really nice person. And the last one that is not a debut author is Courtney Stephens. She wrote Faking Normal. She also wrote Dress Codes for Small Towns, which came out this year. That's also on my TBR shelf. And it was one of my most anticipated books of the year, so I'm kind of still hoping to get to it before the end of the year. I can't think what her other book's called, but I don't own it yet. But I really loved this book. I really love her as a person. She was so sweet whenever I met her, and I'm just really looking forward to reading more books by her. I cannot wait for Dress Codes for Small Towns. Like I said, it was one of my most anticipated books, and I just haven't picked it up yet, but I do have it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Alright, I have 5 more authors that I want to briefly talk about. I'm trying to be brief because I do have so many that I wanted to mention in this video, but the rest of them had debut books that either came out this year or right before the beginning of the year that I read this year. The first one is actually a poetry collection, and that's Amanda Lovelace. She published The Princess Saves Herself in this one, which I'm pretty sure was her debut poetry collection. I really loved this, and she has another one coming out, I think next year, I want to say. This is my favorite poetry collection that I've read thus far, and I just really like her style. And she's really cool. She seems really cool. Next, I have Audrey Coulter. She wrote A Fire and Stars, which actually came out towards the end of last year, but I read it in January. And this was a female princessy romance. book, and I didn't realize how badly I wanted that until I had it, and I thought it was really, really awesome, and I loved it. And I cannot wait to read more by Audrey Coulter. She has a book coming out sometime in the future. I think it's called Ink Mistress, but I'm not sure. I think it's coming out next year, but I don't remember when, but I'll definitely be picking it up for sure. Also, another one is Sandaya Madan, who wrote When Dimple Met Rishi. This was such a cute YA contemporary with an own voices representation of an Indian American main character. And it was just such a cute story, and I really, really liked her writing style, and she has a few more books in the works, and I'm gonna be buying and reading each one of them, let me tell you. Alright, we're down to the last two. The next one is Mackenzie Lee, who actually, now that I think about it, I don't think this was her debut book. I think she's written something else, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you know for sure. But she wrote The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which is one of my favorite books of the year. It was so much fun. This is like the Victorian bisexual road trip that you didn't know you needed, and it was amazing, and I loved it. And Mackenzie Lee actually has a background in history, and it was just really, really well done. I cannot wait to read more books by her. She's going to be writing a companion to this about the main character's sister Felicity, and I love Felicity, and I cannot wait to read that book, and it's going to be about pirates. It's going to be great. But really, anything she writes, I'm gonna read it for sure. And the last book on this list is probably going to be a surprise to no one, because everybody's pretty much been loving this book this year, and that's Angie Thomas, who wrote The Hate U Give. Yeah, it's hard to believe that this was a debut novel, but it was a debut novel, and I loved this book. I loved the writing. This is still probably my favorite book of the year, and I'm gonna read anything that she writes from here on out because she's great. Let me know down in the comments some of your favorite authors that you discovered this year and what books they've written so I can check it out. And I will also put a link to the Goodreads group down in the description in case you want to join, because making these videos are pretty fun. And that will be it for this video, and I will see you guys next time with another video.